Hey everybody, it's Flyin Ryan here with a review of the Feilun FT011 high-speed racing boat with the brushless motor. Now if you've seen my reviews of the FT009 and the FT012, I've been a big fan of these Feilun boats. This is basically the same, but a little bit bigger. It's, I think, about 1.5 times as big as those other boats. But like the FT012, this one does have a brushless motor, so it's really fast and powerful. And then this has this cool, like, carbon fiber look to it. I mean, it's still just plastic. It's not actually carbon fiber, but just a really neat look. I don't know, it kind of looks like a boat that Batman would drive or something. And it does have this nice, back end with the little, tab wings out here on the side to help with turning and the offset rudder. And then we've also got these metal tabs here to kind of help keep it level. However, I did find this one to be a little bit bouncy. I've only gotten to drive it once so far, and it was on a really windy day, so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. But it was bouncing a lot. It didn't stay nice and solid in the water like the FT012 did. So I was a little bit surprised by that. I thought with the bigger size, even in the windy, choppy waters, I was expecting it to be a little more stable and solid. But like I said, I've only gotten one chance to drive this because the weather has just been awful this year. So maybe, on a calmer day it'll be a little bit better. So I may try to do another run video in the future if I get a good calm day and some time to try it. Just to see if it performs a little bit better in calm waters. But still, very fast and maneuverable. They say that it's 55 kilometers per hour. I think maybe it's actually a little bit slower than that, maybe 50 to 55 kilometers an hour, which is like about 31 to 35 miles per hour. So still plenty fast. It's really nice, enjoyable speed. It's fun and exciting. This has self-righting just like the other one, so if it ends up upside down, you just hit reverse on the controller and then throttle forward and it'll turn itself over and keep going. So really cool. I absolutely love that feature, and that makes using an RC boat completely stress-free now. You don't have to have a rescue method or anything. So I think that's just really cool. This is our transmitter here, which is kind of your typical ground vehicle transmitter. So you've got your turning and then your throttle, and then like I said, it does have a reverse, though it doesn't really move backwards very well. It can do it. The reverse is mostly just for self-righting. You just punch that reverse and then go forward, and the torque and the shape of the hole, it'll just turn itself over, no problem. And then inside this hatch here, we've got our trims there. We've got steering trim and throttle trim, or actually, no, we've just got steering trim and steering DR. So you can turn down the sensitivity of the steering if you want. But I did not find that to really be an issue, especially when the boat's going slow. It does not like to turn slow at all. But even when you're at full speed and doing full turns, I did accidentally flip it one time just from turning too fast. So I guess you could turn down the DR a little bit if that keeps happening to you. But I did not find the turning to be overly sensitive. We've also got 3 spare props and some lube for the shaft and a couple tools. We also have a wall charger here, so you plug the balance plug into that to charge it. And we've got a huge, powerful battery, a 4S LiPo, 2200 milliamp hours, so just a really big, powerful battery. I don't know the name of this plug type, but that's a pretty standard plug type, so you should be able to easily charge this from a hobby grade charger if you wanted. That takes about 3 hours to charge with the stock wall charger, and you get maybe 5 to 6 minute run times. It's kind of hard to judge run times on something like this because it all has to do with how many high-speed passes you're doing and whatnot. But not super long run times, especially if you're going fast. I would imagine 5 minutes and 6 minutes if you're a little bit easier on the throttle. This one does have the safety feature here where you've got the metal tabs if it's upside down, or you've got metal tabs back here when it's right side up, and those need to be in the water to complete a contact and allow the motor to work. So if it is out of the water, the throttle will not turn the motor so that you don't end up accidentally cutting yourself or whatever. It's got to actually be in the water before the motor will, arm, and then you can get going. So that's a little bit worrying. I would, certainly suggest testing it in a bathtub or a pool or a sink or something where you can get to it, before you throw it out in the lake and then find out that the thing doesn't bind or whatever. Guess we can open up the hatch here. Just got this one tab in the back. Let's move that. Man, that is a tight fit. Oh, and while I'm at it, this little rubber gasket or seal or whatever, this plug here, I've heard of at least one other story, and it happened to me where it came out. So you can see that it just pulled out super easy, and so then it leaves you at this huge hole in the back of the boat. So that happened to mine. I think that when this rudder, that metal wire moving, it ends up sticking to the rubber and pulls it out, and then you end up getting a bunch of water in there. And I've heard at least one other person say that that happened to them as well. So that's something to keep your eye on, and you may actually want to seal that with some sort of glue or rubber sealant or something. Alright, well, let's go ahead and continue opening it up here. So we've got all these tabs here, which you just move to the unlock position, and then that pulls out. So I like that you've got two levels of seals. You may want to check your rubber gasket here all around the edge to make sure that that's seated well and gives you a good seal. But here is our insides. We do have water cooling, so it brings water in the back there, and then it shoots it out the side over there. So that goes through the ESC and through the motor here, which here's our brushless motor there in the center. And then we've got battery cradle here with straps, so it's a nice tight fit for the battery, so the battery doesn't move around on you, so that's really nice. And then we've got our servo rudder there in the back. So that's our insides. Pretty much all there is to see there. And let's see, anything else to cover on this one? No, that looks like that's about it. And like I said, my run footage, I was out on a pretty windy day, so there's quite a bit of wind noise in my hat cam, and the water's pretty choppy, so I apologize for that. So hopefully it's not too annoying to watch. I've watched it a few times and I can deal with it, so hopefully you guys can as well. But again, sorry for the wind noise in the camera, but let's go check out that footage. Alright, this is the run review of the Feilun FT011. Big brushless boat. This is about 1.5 times as big as the other Feilun boats that I've reviewed, so a little bit bigger. It's got that cool carbon fiber design look to it, but it's just regular plastic. It's not actually made out of carbon fiber. It looks cool nonetheless. And got brushless motors on this, or a brushless motor, so it should be nice and fast. And it doesn't sink up until it's in the water, so go ahead and get it out there, and yep, we're good. It's already upside down. Alright, we'll test the self-righting. There goes the self-righting. Let me bring it back. Man, this thing got going quick. Yeah, it looks like this one's not going to stay quite as stable as the smaller ones. This one can definitely flip itself over. It's a little choppy, but the wind is blowing today and got pretty choppy water. Whoa, it gets going quick there. There we go, a little bit better going into the wind than with the wind. It's awesome, you can hear the water, the rooster tail splashing behind it. Turn. Turn. Didn't want to turn right on me there when it was going slow. This thing screams, man. It's pretty loud. Man, it just skids across the top of the water.
Hear it echoing off the building.
I think I need a little bit of left steering trim. Bring it back around this way. That's looking pretty good. Man, this thing is fun. Still going off to the right a little bit. Try to get it trimmed out a little more. Actually, let's do another self-righting test here a little bit closer. Seaweed off of there. Alright, let's see if I can get it out into the water upside down. Alright, and then so you just hit backwards and then forwards. And ready to go. These Feilun boats self-right so quickly and efficiently. I love it. Turn, turn, turn. Turn. I think it bounced off the shore a little bit. This thing's not staying as solid as I was expecting it to. Seems like the choppy water is definitely affecting it. And it definitely does not like to turn when it's going slow. Alright, well, there we go. That was the Feilun FT011, the larger brushless motor boat. A little bit choppier than I was expecting. I thought it was going to stay a little more solid in the water even with the wind just because of its size. But it was a little bit bouncy, but not too bad. Still very controllable and very fun. I enjoyed that. Alright, we'll check the video description for a price and purchase link. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Shalaka. That's how you do it. Making them YouTube dollars, y'all.